Okay, great. And good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to this week's Link for Growth TV show for Friday, the 19th of August, 2016. As usual, you can get in touch with us via Twitter at L4G SW Herts. That's via Twitter at L4G SW Herts. This week, we've got some really good news. A campaign that several members of the Link for Growth have been involved with, including Catherine and Chris and Neal. Is that the Red Lion pub in Vicarage Road is reopening, and Chris is down there with the new landlord. Hi, Chris.
Yeah, hi there, Diane. Yeah, so I'm down here at the Red Lion pub, and they're all very nervous because it's not ready set up yet, and I've been sort of told I can't do any filming around because actually they've got to take all the dust sheets off, they've got to set it all up, and they get very excited because they're expecting about 500 people. So I've got a very short time because they're really busy down here and I am intruding, and so I'm going to just flip straight over to speak to my guest here, who is Luigi. So can you see Luigi all right?
We can now, yeah.
Okay, so lovely to meet you. So you're involved as one of the team down here in getting everything ready for tomorrow. Yes, and we've been following this story for a while now because it was quite a lot of controversy over what was going to happen to this particular pub. And there was in the end there was like a community kind of protection put on it, so it had to be a pub. So I think there's literally going to be thousands of people down here tomorrow, really looking forward to this opening. So
yeah, they told about like the place, like this place was closed for a long time, and everyone is excited. Like you can see, we are here like around in uniforms and stuff, trying to push it up the last 100 meters, and we're excited. We're excited to like start it and like have fun here with the guys, and it would be nice.
So what time does it open tomorrow?
Tomorrow it opens at 11 o'clock.
11 o'clock, and it's open right through till in the evening.
Before and after.
Okay, great. And what about this as a pub during the week? Is it going to be open during the week as well?
Yes.
So the idea is that it is a community pub, and it is because last time I think it was kind of just open on match days, and it kind of got a bit of a.
No, this one basically on match days, yes, it's going to be open 100% sure, but even during the week it's going to stay open every day, 7 days a week, even if the games are on or not. So it's going to become like part of the community.
Fabulous. And is it going to be like an all-nighter tonight? Are you going to be here?
No, not quite. Basically, like the others like not like all like stay until like I don't know,
No.
Very early stuff.
Fabulous. And how many people do you think you're going to get through the doors tomorrow?
Tomorrow, more than 500 plus, like full capacity. We're hoping like to pack the place and inside out basically, because stadium is here, like just.
Yeah, it's just across the way. Yeah. And you got Chelsea playing here tomorrow. So.
Yeah, it's gonna be exciting.
And what's the weather forecast for tomorrow? Do you have any idea? The weather forecast, is it going to be good?
They said like half of it, so hopefully everything. Like today it's a bit rainy, but let's say 50%. On it.
So are the people who come through these doors tomorrow going to have to wait very long to get a drink? That's the question.
No, we will do the best. Basically, there's going to be full of stuff. The place is going to be full, and the bar, like, it's going to be everyone. Like, there will be service for everyone.
Are you going to be doing food down here as well?
We're going to have some burgers, snacks. Yeah. Like a decided drinks. So.
Okay, and what time does the game start tomorrow?
3 o'clock.
3 o'clock. So I guess you're just going to be behind there, absolutely chock-a-block tomorrow.
Yeah, hopefully, we're going to have a nice sleep after midnight today, and tomorrow we're going to start a big one.
Fabulous. So I know you're very busy, so thank you very much for talking to us, and good luck for tomorrow.
Likewise.
All right, thank you. Cheers.
Okay,
so there you go, Diane. That's what's going to be happening down here tomorrow.
Okay, well, thanks very much for that, Chris, and I know that you're going to be joining us a bit later on with some news about Link for Growth Suffolk Park District.
But just before I do finish here, one of the things I did want to just quickly mention was that there was a voluntary, a community order put on this place, and I know that Catherine Baldwin was quoted in the newspaper as actually being one of those people that was actively involved in making sure that this place did actually end up becoming a pub once more. There are parts of this premises which are not part of the acquisition by the chain that's bought this. And I guess we're still waiting to find out what happens to that part of the pub. But the good news is that once again there is going to be a pub on these premises, and people can enjoy a pint of beer or a snack or something right opposite the football ground. So that's really good news.
Yes, I think Catherine can't be on the show today because she's away, but she's quoted as saying that she's really glad to see that it reopens the pub and that the community involved, camera, link for growth, etc., all really helpful in securing the AC guarantee should remain as a pub. So that's
absolutely. Really all right, Diane, well, I will catch up with you a bit later. It's all action here. Look, a sneak preview behind me there, look, as you can see. But, I'll be catching up with you later.
Okay, take care. Okay, well, thanks to Chris for that interview. Back to the normal sort of order of things. Tania, there's lots of local news going on recently, aren't there? And by the way, welcome back.
Oh, thank you very much, Diane. I'm here for a brief sojourn this week, and then I'm 2 weeks away again. So nice to see you.
Good to see you.
So yes, you're right. There's lots and lots of local news. Highlights for you. Brilliant stuff going on over at Watford Museum. Of course, this is the centenary of the Battle of the Somme, and there's a whole exhibition there of how Watford played the part in that very tragic and very difficult war. There's also really, really good news in our fabulous Cassiobury Park. The reopening of the Cha Cafe, the Cha-Cha-Cha, is happening soon. So that would be really, really good. And there's also some money up for grabs for the over 65s.
Okay, well, thanks for that. That all sounds really interesting. Neal, busy week at Watford, both on and off the pitch, and also around the area sports-wise.
Yeah, we'll be talking about last week's game and looking forward to tomorrow's game against Chelsea. And we've got some news on Radlett Cricket Club and some local boxing news.
Yeah, and it's not Anthony Joshua either, is it?
Indeed. We've got someone new coming through the ranks.
Good. Well, since, as I say, Catherine is away, Tania and I will be doing the charity stuff between us. We'll be talking about the big screen, a whole series of films that are coming up at the Palace Theatre, and local gigs and the Yellow Comedy events that are also coming up over this weekend and over the next week or so. As usual, I do a quick summary of what's happened for Link for Growth last week. Well, on Tuesday morning, the kitchen in Croxley hosted a coffee morning, which I gather was well attended. And last night there was Link for Drinks. We want to new people coming along to the evening, and want to really interesting discussions taking place. So hopefully everyone who attended both of those events really enjoyed it and learned a little bit more about Link for Growth and how they can help with some community activities that we and other organisations hold and run in the area. Tania, the first bit of news, I suppose, is breaking news, and that's Nick Curry's attack. Now, Nick was a Watford football fan who was attacked when they played at Wolves.
That's right, Diane, and from what I understand, the people who made the attack originally denied involvement, but they have changed their pleas during a trial at Wolverhampton Crown Court. 4 19-year-olds and a youth have now changed their pleas, and they previously admitted GBH, and they're now going to be who previously admitted GBH will now be sentenced on the 9th of September. So there's a couple who admitted, as I say, GBH. Someone pleaded guilty to a fray. All 5 were acquitted of GBH, grievous bodily harm, with intent, but they got GBH just normal. So it was an unprovoked attack, as far as I heard, and the young man, Mr. Curry's, travelled by train with friends to the match, and they were attacked on their way back to the train station via a pub. So local news there, and a change in plea for those people. I'm sure the family will be pleased with that, because it will shorten the trial.
Exactly. Now, as you said, this is the centenary of the Battle of the Somme, and Watford Museum are holding a special exhibition to commemorate that.
Yeah, it was some awful part of, well, all war is very, very tragic and unwelcome in my view anyway, but the Somme was particularly gruesome, I think. So the centenary of that is being remembered, recorded in Watford Museum, and what they're particularly focusing on is how 1916 was reflected in Watford, historical images of the town, fascinating anecdotes of the real life experiences of Watford locals is what they're saying. So a highlight of the exhibition is a violin that was created in the 1980s by the former leader of the Watford Philharmonic Orchestra, Kenneth Popplewell. It's actually shown, or normally shown, in the Imperial War Museum, but it's been loaned to Watford Museum and will be used in the orchestra's remembrance concert at Watford Coliseum in October. So real tear-jerking, heartfelt memories, recollections, reflections from Watford as reflected in the history. Biographies, memorials. There were 830 Watford servicemen on the Roll of Honour, and that Roll of Honour is going to be made online so that anyone can search it up and down the world. And that online link is ourwatfordhistory.org.uk. But it won't just be the 830 Watford servicemen on the roll. There are actually around 500 more who don't feature on the roll, but will be added to the online database for people to search, because their biographies and memorials are particularly significant from that time. So it's going to be a really, really poignant and important thing for local people to be able to see. One of the bloodiest parts of history in the British Army, and the impact that it had on us at home here. 160 Watford men losing their lives. Lots of local newspapers, personal letters and images. A rare insight in how Watford people coped.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, moving on. New sickness management framework. The council is saying it's saving them time and money, and it can be repeated for organisations across the UK.
That's right, Diane. Yeah, this sounds like a really good idea, actually. A lot of organisations up and down the country that are government-funded organisations are creating this sort of public-private partnership deal, and this sounds like a particularly good one. So this is the council working with an organisation called First Care to try and reduce sickness levels in the council, and then with that partnership organised and created, they will sell that or help promote sales of that partnership operation to other councils, other government-funded organisations, and they'll get 1.5%. Watford will get 1.5% of the contract cost back. Contract value. Sorry?
I was going to say that the numbers are quite impressive, aren't they? In terms of they're talking about how there's been a 37% reduction in absence, and this is not a short-term trial, is it? It's been going on since 2010, so it's
That's right.
Got some legs to it.
Yeah, that's right. It seems really, really good. So since the 23rd of May 2010, and as you say, there were 9.21 days in the 12 months taken off sick by council employees, per council employee, in the 12 months to June 2010. And in the 12 months to June 2016, that's fallen to 5.78 days per council employee. So as you say, that's a 37% reduction. Now when you consider that some of that is going to be long-term sickness, some of it's going to be short-term sickness, actually that is a really impressive reduction in sickness absence. And the way that it seems to work, anyone who wants to or needs to take a day off sick registers that sick leave with a bank of nurses, and the nurses advise what needs to be done by the person who feels poorly. So presumably they can give some first aid advice and some advice on the sort of things that might be needed in a nursing capacity. But they also then liaise with the managers, so that the managers know exactly what it is that will do that they need to do to help that employee fit back into the workplace as soon as they're better. So that's a really, really good scheme there, which, as I say, has got the opportunity to create some income for Watford Borough Council. Brilliant idea.
Exactly, it is. It is good. Now, we've talked about one exhibition at Watford Museum, and there's a second one celebrating the start of the new football season.
Yes, now this is one that Neal, of course, might be more interested in. I understand, and I'm not the football person, but I understand that there are some pretty big trophies that Watford has received over the past 100 years or so, and those trophies are now all on long-term loan to the museum from the football club, and the museum is now clearly presenting those for the public to see. Perhaps the biggest draw, they say, is the 1999 playoff final trophy, which marks Watford's first win at Wembley. And of course that was under the club's beloved manager Graham Taylor. All news to me, of course, because football isn't my thing. But so there's that playoff trophy. There's the Division 2 Champions Trophy, and the first ever trophy won by Watford when the club secured the Southern League second division title in 1900, so over 100 years ago, 116 years ago. The first Victorian trophy, the Rose Bowl. So all brilliant and available for everyone to see down at Watford Museum.
Okay, that's great, thank you. Neal, will you be going to see?
Yeah, I will. I will be heading down. It'll be interesting. I've spoken to one or two people who've already been, and they said it's not a massive exhibition, but it's worth the trip. And yeah, we've not won a ton of trophies over our histories, unfortunately. But yeah, for sure, the 1999 playoff final was the big one. So a chance to get your picture taken with that trophy, that'd be brilliant.
Okay, great. Tania, good news for Watford supporters trying to get to the game tomorrow.
Yes, absolutely. And for anyone trying to get to the hospital. So apparently on August the 5th, a huge hole opened up in the middle of the road outside the hospital, the football stadium, and the road's been closed ever since. So the hole was created by a damaged section of a sewerage pipe underneath the road. That pipe has now been repaired and the road has been sorted and closed, and everything's apparently open again from today. So yeah, anyone going to the match tomorrow or to the hospital, much easier for you.
Now, we have a good relationship with several cake shops in the area, you know, Reason and The Kitchen and LJ's down opposite Bushy Station. But there's another one, well, I was going to say opening. The Cha Cafe is reopening tomorrow.
That's right. Tomorrow, this is a popular cafe in the middle of the Cassiobury Park, and it's one that's frequented very often by my running sisters on a Saturday lunchtime and other times during the week, of course. It's been closed while there's been some work made on the building to make it much better for access and for accommodation for people to go and sit in. So the council have been restoring Cassiobury Park. The lottery fund and big lottery fund, heritage and big lottery funds have been funding it, and after 5 months, actually Cha is opening again. So there'll be step-free access, flat paths, new children's playground area, a terraced area, which sounds really nice to me on a sunnier day than today, landscape gardens, and extra cycle parking. So original drinking fountain dating back to the Cha's construction near the beauty spots Cassiobury Park Avenue entrance in 1925. All fully restored for visitors to enjoy. Now, the proprietors here have been there for some time. It's the same proprietors since October 2014, and they're back again. So that's Mandy and Brian Evans. They've poured thousands into new equipment for the cafe, including one of my favourites. I enjoyed one of these yesterday up at Whipsnade Zoo, Mr. Whippy ice cream machine. Oh, delish. So I'm very glad there's going to be one of those around. And state-of-the-art coffee machine, portable barbecue. So there's plenty of options over there. And of course, Mandy makes her own cakes. So the cakes over there are famed far and wide, and Mandy will be back again making cakes from tomorrow. The actual bandstand, which I think is fairly close by now that it's restored and moved from where it has been for quite a long time next to the Central Library since the 1970s. It's now restored, and its grand opening will be on Sunday the 4th of September. Celebrations there from 1:30 till 6. So it was originally over in Cassiobury Park in 1912, and it's going back to be reopened on Sunday the 4th.
Exactly. And the Cha Cafe is a nice location. You know, it's right next to the croquet greens as well, which is quite.
Yes. Croquet greens and the tennis courts.
Yes, exactly. Okay, talking of tennis courts, Maple Cross tennis courts have reopened.
Yes, over in Denham Way there, the playing fields, Maple Cross, the public tennis courts are now reopened. They've had a complete overhaul, including new fencing, relayed court surfaces and new netting. Now, apparently a great place to play tennis. So if you're a budding Andy Murray or anyone else really, get over there, pick up a racket and enjoy.
Yep. Now, this is from Hertsmere, and we've seen them before, sort of like appeal for people, organisations to apply for funding, and they're doing it again.
That's right. Completed application forms must be returned by the 4th of September, but if you're involved in the Hertsmere area in an event that involves over 65s, in support of Older People's Day and Silver Sunday on the 1st and 2nd of October, then you could get a grant of up to £300 if you're a community group arranging something for those days between the 1st of October and the 7th of October. Grants are available for residents of Hertsmere aged 65 or over and can be used from a range of activities, social events, sporting events, whatever you like really. If you've got some over 65s getting out and about in that first week in October, you need some funding, then apply to Hertsmere.
Yeah, and details are available on their website.
That's right, they are.
Okay. Now, weather, and I hate to be a damp squib, but it doesn't look as though it's going to be that good for this time of year. We don't normally give weather warnings, but this one is probably worth it because it's still in August and it looks like it's going to be cold and windy.
Yes, yes. I know that Chris asked, was it Lewis down at the pub earlier, the Red Lion, what he thought the weather was going to be like tomorrow. Well, he was saying 50-50, Lewis, and I think actually it's going to be pretty dire tomorrow, according to the Met Office. Strong winds set to sweep this area. A yellow warning they're giving us between 7 AM and 9 PM on Saturday. So gusts of between 40 to 45 miles an hour predicted inland, and even higher out on the coast. So tomorrow's opening, extremely strong southwesterly winds accompanied by heavy blustery showers is expected throughout the day tomorrow. So it might not be such a good day to be kicking a football around, I think.
No, it doesn't sound like it, does it? It sounds as if it's going to be somewhat cold and wet and miserable. But, well, yeah, who knows?
Who knows?
Sometimes
Maybe it'll blow over. It's cold out. Well, it's not cold actually. It's very wet out there on and off today. So maybe it'll all blow over and be done by tomorrow.
Exactly. So fingers crossed. And you're going to be joining me later to talk about some of the events that are happening locally over the weekend and the forthcoming week, aren't you?
I hope so. Yep. I'll just read up about them.
Okay, that's great. Thanks very much. Okay, see you later, and thanks for your contribution so far. Hi, Neil.
Hello.
Hi. As we said at the beginning in the intro, there's been a big kind of amount of activity, or a huge amount of activity going on at Watford. The first game of the season, another big game tomorrow, lots of ins and outs from the transfer market. Shall we start with the Southampton game?
Yeah, so first game of the season. I believe I predicted a 1-1 draw.
I was going to say today, I think you were too modest to boast about it, but I'll withdraw that.
Yeah, so yeah, it was a good start. Watford played well in the first half. They took an early lead through Capu, who Capu had been trying to score all last season. Have been so unlucky, hit the bar, hit the post, goals disallowed. First game of the season, he pops up within a few minutes of the start and puts the team 1-0 up. So hopefully there'll be a theme he'd carry on through the season. Yeah, we looked very organised, very strong, and in fact we were completely dominant in the first half. Now the second half was a slightly different story. We were sort of running out of legs a little bit, and unfortunately with about a quarter of an hour to go, Ben Watson was sent off for a foul he made. Basically, he took a red card to stop someone getting through one-on-one with a keeper. There was some doubt whether it should have been a red or not on television, they were saying, but he knew what he was doing. But the team managed to hold on, even with 10 men. They still looked quite solid. The only worry would be that they did look a little unfit in the second half of the game. They looked like they were puffing a little bit. Now this is something we expected actually, because Walter Mazzarri had already admitted that they were concentrating on formation and the way he wanted the team to play more so than fitness. So a little bit worried that could become a theme for the first month or so while they now start to work on their fitness more. But overall, great result, and good to get the season off with a point.
Yeah. Now, tomorrow, many observers, I know Laurel on BBC is saying 2-0 to Chelsea, and Paul Merson on Sky is saying 2-1 to Chelsea. Big game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's a big game, absolutely, and without a doubt Chelsea favourites going in with all the bookies. Watford haven't beat Chelsea since 1999, I believe. Or it's in at least the last 10 games. But we did draw twice last season, and against them, home and away. So, it's all to play for. It's the beginning of the season. Can't really tell much from last week's games because they only sneaked a 2-1 win against West Ham, so it wasn't as if they were completely dominant against West Ham. Difficult one to call. Obviously, I think Watford would be happy with a draw, so I'll go for a draw in that one.
Okay. Now, what, 1-1 again, or 2-2, or?
I think this is like goals in it, Tiltrif. Yeah, 2-2.
Okay. Now, apparently, Chelsea boss Antonio Conte and Walter Mazzari, Watford's new manager, have some history between them.
Yes. Both managers are playing it down now. They're not in Serie A, but they're basically renewing older acquaintances. There was some accusations that Conte had basically ripped off Mazzari's formation and wasn't using his own formation, but handbags at dawn, I guess. No manager's a good manager if they can't learn from what someone else is doing in the league that's working.
Yeah. Well, do you think many of the new signings will be playing? Well, I mean, success join Dini and Igalo up front?
Well, there's an outside chance. He picked up an injury in pre-season friendly, and he's been passed fit to play, but only at the last minute. So if he is in, it would be a surprise if he was chucked straight in at the deep end if someone's only just passed the fitness test and been injured. But I would suggest you would see him in the squad day, so maybe on the bench.
Okay. And according to Igalo, Gino Pozzo, who's the Watford owner, wants Watford in the Europa League.
Yeah, well, that's good to hear, and not really a massive surprise that they wouldn't be investing the money in the ground and the squad if they didn't have big ambitions and they just wanted to hang around in the Premiership for a few seasons. And anyone who's been past in the last week will see the mightily impressive new club shop that opened this morning. I've got some pictures. They'll be going up on the Reason Coffee Shop Facebook page this afternoon. It's really impressive. It's very strange because Watford's shop in the past has been in a porter cabin and it's been in all sorts of places. Now it's this grand entrance on the corner. So they wouldn't invest that sort of money if they didn't have big plans. So, but it's great to hear it confirmed from Igalo.
Okay. Now, transfer news. There's been a couple of, I don't know if they're confirmed yet or not, ins, and one significant person leaving. So let's start with the ins. And Watford have apparently, or reported, signing a player from Juventus.
Yes. I don't know if anything has broken the last hour or so. I hadn't heard, but so fees have been agreed, and I think it's down to fitness tests at the club just to dot the I's, as it were. But so yeah, Roberto Pereira from Juventus, and a late bid for Yunus Kabul from Sunderland. Pereira is a playmaking midfielder. Comes with a big reputation. Played for Argentina, the full squad, several times, 10 times I believe it is. He's been in Juventus's team up in the Champions League. He didn't play every game. I think he only played about half the games last season. But even so, it's amazing that Watford attracting players from Juventus and getting them to agree to sign for us, and especially when teams like Arsenal can't get Leicester players to agree to sign for them. So it shows how far we've come, and it's still like we're heads in the cloud time for fans. This
and Pereira, is it how you pronounce it?
I think so. Yes.
He's played for Argentina.
Yeah, he's a top quality player, international. It looks like it's going to break our club record. Seems like the rumoured fee is 13 million, which will be a club record for us.
Okay, and on top of that, we've bought a centre half from Sunderland. Yes,
Yunus Kabul has agreed terms. Again, just waiting for the signatures to be made. He's had a bit of an up and down career. Started at Tottenham, didn't have a great reputation, then came through good for them in the last couple of seasons he played for them. Strong player, good in the air, good at getting up for corners for when you're attacking, scoring goals. And we're playing with three centre-backs. We certainly needed cover at centre-back position. So I think it's a very good acquisition.
Okay, that's great. Now they've released or sent out on loan Suarez back to Spain and Valencia.
Yes, Mario Suarez, who came with a massive reputation last season, was supposed to be one of the best players we'd ever bought. Never fitted into the squad, never seemed to be able to get the pace of the Premiership. Was not the break-up player we thought he was going to be, and in the end looked quite disinterested. And I think he'll be glad to be away. And he spoke to saying he wants to be at Valencia for many years. But obviously they'll have to stump up some money for him after the loan period's finished if that's going to be the case.
Well, apparently, according to WD Sport, and this is something that's just been put up on their site, it was a mutual decision to let him go, and despite his applications in training, the current management team Mazzari couldn't see him fitting in to the Watford team system. And apparently there's a huge loan fee agreed from Valencia, and there will be a transfer fee should they decide to keep the player at the end of the loan.
Yeah, this won't be one of the transfers where we basically agreeing to pay some of the wages. Valencia wanted him. He's a big name player, so they're actually paying good money for him. So that's actually going to be good for the club. But yeah, I can understand because we're playing with three centre midfielders this year, which you think would suit Suarez, but obviously he didn't impress the manager in pre-season.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, so next week it's also cup time, isn't it? So I presume that means all change for the team.
Yes, as is tradition these days, everyone seems to put out their reserve side in the League Cup. So we're entering at the second round. We're playing Gillingham, and who are currently fourth. They've had a good start to the season in League Two, so they'll be up for it. But full change, I would expect every player that hasn't in from the squad to played to get a chance, so they can have a look at some other players and rest up the team that are going to play next week against Arsenal. Really difficult to call these games because it actually gives the small clubs a really good chance to beat the Premier League teams. But you would think, looking at our squad, will be too strong for Gillingham.
Okay, and that's at home on Tuesday evening?
Yeah, Tuesday evening.
Okay, that's great. Of course, the other team we follow is Kings Langley FC, who are, after 3 successive promotion seasons, are experiencing, let's say, mixed fortunes.
Yeah, life at the higher level, they're finding out what it's really like. So they've played well by all accounts. The first game they would have been excited because they were 1-0 up, and but it got pulled back to 1-1 and they held on. Unfortunately, second game they lost. Third game they played some really good football to get 2-0 up, but unfortunately Slough came back and they lost the game 3-2. So they were only 1 point from the first 3 games, but they'd shown glimpses that they can play football at that level. And Tuesday night against Biggleswade Town away from home, it all came together and they put them to the sword 4-0. So that was an emphatic win. That will give a massive amount of confidence to Kings Langley. 4 points from 4 games, first time in the highest division ever. They'll be very happy with that and they'll be looking to kick on. I mean, the manager is very happy. He says it proves that we can play at this level. They've proved in every game that they can compete. So now they've got the confidence to keep scoring. Let's just hope they carry that on.
Yeah, and tomorrow they're playing at home.
Yes, tomorrow's a 3 p.m. kickoff to Frome Town, who have started the season really well and are in third place. 1-3 and lost 1. So started well, and Kings Langley will hope that they can put a stop to that.
Okay, and golf, and of course we've been following, amongst others, Callum Skinquin's efforts at the European Open, European Tour event rather, and he had a really good second round at the Czech Masters earlier on today.
Yes, a 68, which he needed because he was 75, which was a 3 over yesterday. But a 68, 4 under par today, excellent round, puts him in 33rd position and well inside the cut and only 5 shots behind the leader. So he'll be confident going into the weekend that he can climb that leaderboard and hopefully get into the top 10.
Okay. Yes. I mean, he's equal 30 something at the moment, isn't he?
Yeah, 33, I think it was, 33rd.
Yeah, something like that. Yeah. Yes. It's not easy to tell from the way they present the leaderboard on the website, but
No.
right. Okay, but it's around there, so that's pretty good going. Now, boxing. There's some really good news for a local Watford boxer.
Yes, and not Anthony Joshua for once. We have a new boxer, Becky Stone, has broken into the England squad. First Watford boxer for some time to break into the England squad, and after the excitement of the Olympic Games, she said she's aiming to be in the Olympic squad for Great Britain next time. So she's got in the England now. She just needs to get a GB place, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. Onwards and upwards, and good luck to her.
Yeah, absolutely.
Cricket. Radlett won last week.
Back to normal league fixtures for Radlett, and beating Potter Bar by 50 runs. No outstanding scores this time. The whole team put some runs on the board, and it was enough to beat Potter Bar by 50 runs.
Yeah. Now, bit of controversy about the NatWest T20 national final.
Yeah, so the regional final, the big one before the televised round, Radlett was supposed to be playing West Indian Cavaliers from Northampton, and they're all set to go, but news has come through that they've been disqualified. So Radlett will now be playing Swalston in the regional T20 final to try to get that place at Lord's.
Yeah, and they're playing this weekend, aren't they?
I didn't actually see the fixture date. I do apologise. Yeah, is it this weekend? I didn't actually see that on the article.
No, sorry. Yeah, Sunday the 21st in the T20 Cup, because they're playing Hertford at home tomorrow at 12 o'clock.
Yeah, and it's a big game. No Hertfordshire team's ever got through to the final before, so yeah, massive game for Radlett.
Yeah, and I know they're saying they're laying on barbecues and everything for supporters who turn up, and they want a really good turnout, which is fabulous.
Let's hope the weather holds out for them. It's a T20 game, so they'll have quite a while to get the overs in, even if the weather doesn't stay fair the whole time. But yeah, it should be a real party atmosphere.
Okay, that's great. Well, thank you very much, Neil, for that sports news. We'll hold you to 2-2 for your prediction.
Yeah, that's a bit bold, that one, but I'm going to stick with it.
You sure?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, well, we'll hold you to that, and we look forward to hearing your justification as to why you got it wrong and Watford scored 4 and Chelsea didn't score any next week.
I hope you're right. See you next week.
Okay, take care, Neil.
Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, it's time for the charity events, which is normally the bit that Catherine does, but as we said, she's away. So, Tania and I are going to be doing this between us. Herts Air Ambulance want people to be a hero and go red to support them during the National Air Ambulance Week, which is 19th to 25th of September. Go red is known to represent the bright red of the Herts Air Ambulance helicopter. An annual fundraising campaign held to raise awareness and the life-saving work of air ambulances across the whole country as part of this Air Ambulance Week. This year's Go Red theme is Be a Hero, giving residents, schools, businesses and friends and neighbours a chance to hold red-themed events or take part in the Be a Hero theme and dress in red, or even as the event favourite superhero. You can get a fundraising pack to support Herts Air Ambulance by emailing red@ehaat.uk.com. That's red@ehaat.uk.com, or call 0345 504 0055, and we'll put all those details up on a link at the end of the show. Police Hospice still have plenty of room for people who are interested in taking part in their annual obstacle race, which is called Pushing for the Peace, which is a 5-mile muddy obstacle run This time it's taking place in Chiswell Green, and it's 30 obstacles and 5-mile cross-country course. Apparently there's one challenge you won't want to miss. Standard entry fee is now £35 per person, so whether you're running as a team or as an individual, you'll experience all the mud, sweat and teamwork and camaraderie that makes Pushing for the Peace one of the best obstacle runs around. The ever-popular Push It Village will also be back again with food stalls, live bands, kids' rides and of course the Push It beer tent. There's plenty to enjoy. So it's taking place on the Saturday the 24th of October. You can email the piece at events@peacehospicecare.org.uk to obtain a sponsorship form and to register, or you can call them on 01923 335373. That's 01923 335373, or email them at events@peacehospicecare.org.uk, and you can get all the details there. The Peace Hospice are also asking for people to join them on a spectacular 6-day trek around the Isle of Wight during the first part of October. It's a 6-day trek. They're looking to raise £30,000 by walking around the Isle of Wight, and it's an area. The Isle of Wight is an area that's designated as an area of outstanding natural beauty, and it's long been a popular tourist destination. And the walk is 67 miles long around the coastal path, travelling from golden beaches to dramatic cliff tops and rolling countryside. Most people, they believe, will be able to take part in the trek, but occasionally it requires you to walk 16 miles a day, which is apparently no mean feat. Some days will be tougher than others, but you'll be rewarded with breathtaking scenery and plenty of rest stops. The island also has, luckily the island is also a foodie paradise with fantastic local ingredients, a range of eateries from fine dining to coastal pubs and a couple of breweries, 2 vineyards thrown in, and also a garlic farm, by the way. But the biggest reason to take part is it's a vital part of the fundraising initiative for the Peace Hospice, and it's a great way to help. The walk starts on the 9th of October and ends on the 14th. 25 places are available. Each person will need to pay a booking fee of £250 plus and raise a minimum amount of sponsorship to take part. If you are interested, you need to complete a register your interest form on the Peace Hospice page, or contact Claire at clyden at peacehospicecare.org.uk. That's clyden at peacehospicecare.org.uk, or call 01923 335373. That's 01923 335373. Hi, Tania.
Hi there, Diane. I really quite fancy that walk around the Isle of Wight there.
It sounds fabulous, doesn't it?
It sounds absolutely lovely. It is a very beautiful place. I have been, so yeah, it sounds absolutely lovely.
Okay. What's also going to be lovely is the film festival, or the mini film festival that the Palace Theatre have got on over the next few days and week.
Yes, yeah, it's going to be brilliant actually. Tomorrow it looks like there is masses of films on. Of course, we've got the films that you're going to talk about in a moment as well, in the high street there at the open air films by the beach. But tomorrow, on the 20th of August, at Watford Palace, if you don't fancy tomorrow's rain and wind that we were talking about earlier, then you can start at 11 o'clock with The Secret Life of Pets, go on to The Legend of Tarzan in 3D, and I have to say that that's the live action one rather than the cartoon one, and then on to Independence Day: A Resurgence, all being played tomorrow at the Watford Palace Theatre. So start with, what on earth do your pets do while you're not in the house? If you're a guinea pig, if you're a dog, if you're a cat, what on earth do you do in those boring times when whoever it is that normally feeds you and entertains you isn't there? for goodness sakes, what do they do? Well, find out tomorrow at 11 o'clock at Watford Palace Theatre. And then go on, as I say, at 2 p.m. To find out what Tarzan did when he was in the jungle and what on earth happens around a baby that's in the jungle and learns to live with the animals. Samuel L. Jackson, huge name in this live action adventure program. Tarzan and Jane, that story that has intrigued us for many, many, many decades. Figure out what the latest incarnation is doing in that particular story. And then anyone who saw Independence Day, absolutely amazing film, will be keen to see Independence Day Resurgence. I've seen some of the trailers for on the TV and in the cinemas. So 19:30, 7:30 tomorrow, 12A, and it's on at Watford Palace Theatre. So again, we're being invaded. What are we going to do about it? And then go on to Sunday. So Sunday the 21st, Elvis and Nixon. Wow. Elvis meets Nixon. What is the story behind all of that? How did that all come about? Again, at 2 p.m. on Sunday the 21st, so that's Sunday this week. I'm afraid I won't be able to go because I've got a family dinner. But what was the story behind this unusual meeting of the then President of the US and the King of Rock and Roll, Elvis Presley?
Yeah.
Then, of course, you've...
So I was just going to say, it sounds fascinating.
Carry on.
It sounds fascinating, doesn't it?
It does, absolutely, and I've got no idea, you know, what that was about and how that all happened and all of that sort of thing. But I shan't be watching it on Sunday, I'm afraid, because, as I say, I shall be up having dinner with family up in Luton.
Okay. And for fashion victims like you and I, a must-watch film.
A must-watch, you're absolutely right, Diane. Yeah, fashion victims like you or I. Fab. Oh, darling, come on, let's do this. French Riviera, live my life forevermore. Doesn't this sound like a glorious thing to do? So Adina and Patsy are trying to do exactly that in this film that's on the 28th. So that will be Sunday the 28th again, and Friday the 26th. So Friday the 26th at 7:30 p.m, so the 28th at 9 p.m. It's on twice. Get down to the Palace Theatre and have a look at those. Tickets for 16 to 25-year-olds, just £4. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. From everyone that I've heard of talking about it, it's going to be a great, very, very funny event.
Yeah, it does. It does look a good film from the trailers, anyway.
Yes.
Okay, thank you for that. And of course, not only is it on films on at the Palace, but we've still got the big screen on and the beach. And there's a Sandcastle Club every day at on the beach at Watford, up on the parade there, at the top of the parade near the pond. And tomorrow, Top Golf will be there, so you can play crazy golf. Then on Saturday they have The Lion King at 2 o'clock, and at 5 they have a whole load of Olympic Games coverage, and then on 7:15 they have Jaws on. So if you if you're afraid of a paddle in the sea, this is the reason why.
Da 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 dum 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 dum.
Yes, thank you. That's really good, Tanya. That's a hidden talent I didn't know you had.
Yeah, there you go.
Well, we might just put you in for a karaoke competition. Anyway, Sunday is Olympics Day, Olympic Games coverage, because of course it's the closing last day of the games, and the closing ceremony will be taking place and everything. That's all Sunday, starting at 2 p.m, going on to about 10 or 11 o'clock at night. Then on Monday, I have Greece, and during the afternoon, Star Wars: The Force Awakens on the early evening, and everyone's favourite, well, nearly everyone's favourite, Dirty Dancing on Monday evening. I mean,
yes, it was the one that actually was voted back, wasn't it? Last year's one that was voted back.
yes, yes.
So yeah, everybody's favourite.
Yep, exactly. And then during the rest of the week, they've got 3 films a day on, including Paddington on Tuesday. The Hunger Games is also on Tuesday, which is Hunger Games Mockingjay Part 2. Wednesday, they've got, amongst the films being shown is Frozen and Top Gun. They've also got Jaws again. Thursday, they've got Harry Potter and the Philosopher's Stone and Back to the Future that they're showing. And on Friday next week, they've got Finding Nemo, more Top Gun and more Dirty Dancing.
Great stuff.
Right. Now, Catherine and I joke about this every week because we can never work out who is on this week at the Horns.
Yeah, and I've done no better whatsoever, Diane. This Lemon Rock website is a bit challenging to look through. So either tonight you've got DJ Wayne playing 60s, 70s, 80s and 90s and more. The oldies that will make you dance and sing till you can sing and dance no more. I'm sorry, they've not seen me singing and dancing. I can carry on. You just probably don't want to be listening to me. I can sing and dance. You don't want to be watching me either, maybe, because it's just fun. But DJ Wayne is one of your options tonight, or alternatively, maybe it's a reggae night with a DJ. Reggae party with a selector Sticks and DJ Dave Hollywood. Either way, they're on from 9 p.m. till 1 a.m. tonight, and it's always it's just a great venue down there. So if you're looking for something to do tonight, somewhere to go and sing and dance and have a bit of a drink, then the Horns is clearly the thing for you to be doing. If, however, you want something for tomorrow night, it looks a little bit more simple. The Regulators, bringing the best in old school Trojan, reggae, ska and rocksteady from artists like Desmond Dekker, Jimmy Cliff, Prince Buster, Justin Hines, The Pioneers, Toots and the Maytals, and a whole lot more. So again, from 9 p.m. till 1 a.m. tomorrow night at Watford at the Horns, it's the Regulators. And then again, if it's Sunday night that you want a night out, then it's the Good Old Boys at the Horns. Originally formed as a let's come together when we're all free from touring group. Actually, they're a group of people that come together as a successful band in their own right now. Alan Barrett, Nick Simpler, Peter Parks, Simon Bishop and Richard Hudson provide a perfect blend for the 50s, 60s rock and roll or R&B enthusiast. So an exhilarating experience. The Good Old Boys is on Sunday, if that's what you fancy.
Yeah, it's slightly earlier than the other gigs that the Horns usually have, isn't it? Because it starts at 4 and goes on till 7.
That's absolutely right, Diane. They do a really good show on a Sunday. Generally, the Horns has got something on earlier on in the afternoon. A bit of what do they call it? Begins with an R. Oh, I can't remember. Anyway, a bit of
blues.
Sorry.
Rhythm and blues.
No, actually, it doesn't begin with an R. It begins with a J. Jazz. Generally, they have jazz on Sunday lunchtime at the Horns, or they always used to. I haven't been for a while, but it was always a good event to go to the Horns on Sunday lunchtime and listen to a fantastic jazz band. So, yeah, all the way through the afternoon, the Horns on a Sunday is a really good place to go.
Okay, thank you for that. Yellow Comedy have got a gig coming up this tomorrow evening, which is actually rather a poignant gig because it's the last gig they'll be doing at Attico. That's because Attico are closing down, unfortunately. And as usual with all Yellow Comedy events, it's free to get in, but you pay to leave, or you make a donation to leave. The headliner is Chris Walker, who is someone who I've seen previously, who is very, very funny. Also appearing are Chester Constable, Winter Phonander, Janet Garner, James Harris, Claire Nelson, who I also seen, who I think is very funny, Laurie Edward Suarez, and of course Andrew Carberry is the MC as usual. It starts slightly earlier than normal. The comedy starts at 7:30 with doors opening at 7. As I said, it should be a really good evening because it's the last Yellow Comedy gig at Atco, because Atco is closing down later this month. But hopefully everyone will have a good time, and Andrew will be delighted to see you there tomorrow. Then next Friday, on the 26th of August, it's the first Yellow Comedy at LJ's Coffee House, which is the coffee house opposite Bushy Station in the kind of like big island where the old Mercedes dealer used to be many, many years ago. The acts appearing there, it's headlined Jim Daly with Josh Bellum, Matt Foley, Jenny Levine, Finn O'Driscoll, Pam Tilling and Pete White, also all appearing, and Andrew Carberry will be emceeing that one as well. So that one starts at 7:30 with the doors opening at 7. As I said, it's at the LJ's Coffee House on Friday, and that is opposite the Bushy Overground railway station. Okay, Chris, you've rejoined us.
I have indeed, Diane. I have rejoined. Can you hear me all right?
Yes, we can.
Good. I don't know whether you notice the background here, but I'm back down at the kitchen because there's lots going on down here.
Okay, so I gather there's some news about a new district leader and also about an education programme. Which do you want to start with?
Well, there's three things I'm going to talk to you about down here, but I'm going to start off with no, I'm not going to tell year because I don't know what that is. I'm going to talk about 10 to 13-year-olds. And if you can see there in the picture, the wonderful figure of David Mills. Now, David, I've met, how long ago was it now? 3 months ago, I guess?
Yeah, something like that, maybe a little longer.
Maybe in the beginning of the summer-ish type of time. And David is somebody that is passionate about education, and we do have an education TV show which David is running, but that's not what we're going to talk about today. What we're going to talk about is a new Creative Kids?
Kids Create.
Kids Create, sorry, I always get that wrong. Kids Create, which is aimed at 10 to 13-year-olds. And I'm going to let him tell you exactly what it is, because it's very exciting, because we've got to get the next generation of young people focused on providing us old, what do you call, baby boomers, giving us like a place to live, I think, because we've done a good job of destroying it. So, David, what's all this about?
So, purpose of Kids Create. First of all, I'm a former school teacher. I now call myself an education visionary and innovator. The whole idea behind Kids Create is that it starts from the premise that the people who are going to create the future, make the changes that are really going to make a difference, are children. They're the ones with the freshness, with the open minds, and with the ideas, the imagination, the creativity and the passion to bring about change. It's no good us continuing with our old paradigm of education where we're delivering educational packages to kids. The idea behind Kids Create, as I said, we provide spaces, and I call them creative learning spaces, in which children are empowered to share their thoughts, their ideas, and to begin creating. So we're making a start here in the kitchen in Croxley. We'll start with a small group of, as Chris said, Year 6 to Year 8 children, 10 to 13-year-olds, and essentially what will they create? That is going to come from inside them. But I'm here as a facilitator or a space holder, and it'll be very much a case of them meeting, sitting down in a relaxed, informal setting and saying, right, what would you like to create? What would you like to innovate? What are you passionate about? So, for example, there could be an issue in the local community that they want to work on. Say there's an issue with loads of litter over a piece of plot of land, an open piece of grassland, for example. The kids might want to discuss ways of solving that issue. Or if it's not a local issue, it could be something more global. For example, if I had a group of kids came here and said, we're concerned about the plight of the dolphins and the whales on this planet, my job would be here to say, great, well that passion is inside of you for a reason. That's obviously a part of your purpose in this life. That's why you're here. Let me hold this space in which you can create some kind of campaign to affect change, to bring about change. Those are two random examples. Who knows what the kids will up, but the whole point is, let's begin providing spaces of innovation or creative learning spaces in which children can come, be heard, their thoughts, their ideas honoured, and actually we empower them to take action on those ideas as well. That for me is where we're heading with regards to education. It will be more a case of children creating and innovating, and that process becomes education itself.
Really interesting. Now we've got the lovely face of Linda next door. Now, Linda, you're here primarily because it's your shop, but also you're involved in this in some way. So tell us a little bit about what your role might be.
Well, we've been meeting today to discuss what that's going to look like, but I think primarily I'm interested in the whole idea of bringing together some local young people that would like to be in this creative space. So we have really good contacts here with the local community, in particular with the local schools. So I'm going to be going and speaking to head teachers and trying to identify youngsters who would benefit from this, who'd be enthusiastic about this, perhaps to create a pilot space.
And I think we've probably even spotted one candidate today.
Indeed. I've spoken to his mum since. He's totally up for that.
Fab, what a great story. Right, and you're co-district leader now, I hear.
Apparently so, yes.
So congratulations. Was that met with enthusiasm, did I detect that? All right.
I might make myself a cake to celebrate.
Fabulous, fabulous. And what's going on down here tonight? You've got something going on here tonight as well.
I'm really excited tonight because the dial-up is returning to Proxley.
So what's that then?
So the dial-up is an evening of music, entertainment. First half is prepared by the host, Alexander Williams, and the second half is open mic, so anybody can come contribute, share what's, poems, some songs, some prose, jokes, anything. It really is open mic. And tonight the theme is anything goes.
Anything goes. And David, I hear through the grapevine, David, you can sing a bit.
I am a singer, yeah.
So I'm being a serendipitous hook up here, a link.
Fabulous.
The universe has brought David here today.
Fabulous. So any questions, Diane, for this lovely couple?
That sounds wrong too.
No questions at all, Chris. Obviously, good luck to Linda and her new role.
Yeah, I don't know whether you're aware of this, but just what David was saying there. So we're going to start a pilot down here. I think it's on the 8th of September. So 8th of September, after school, they'll be back at school, the kids, but they're going to be a group of young kids down here who are going to have a space to kind of come up with some ideas of what they want to do and how they might want to change the place they live. So what a fabulous idea. And through the Coffee Shop Union, we're hoping that this kind of idea can proliferate and we can get a whole load of these sorts of places right across the country. So that's the plan. Damn good one, if you ask me. So there you go.
Okay, well, thank you very much for that, Chris. I'm just going to talk about some Link for Growth stuff next week, and we'll catch up later, okay?
Okay, I'll dash off. Nice to see you all. Cheerio, Tania.
Oh, hi, Tania.
Cheers, thanks everyone. Nice to see you. Bye.
Early.
Bye. Okay, Link for Growth next week. There is a whole stack of events starting tomorrow with Chris at Barracuda, which is next to Watford Market. He'll be there between 10 and 11:30. So if you're interested in what Link for Growth is, what it does, how it tries to help build community, and some of the other stuff that we've been talking about today, then please go along and see Chris tomorrow at Barracuda, which is on the High Street next to the High Street entrance for Watford Market. On Sunday, there's Link for Breakfast at the Junction Café in St Albans Road between 10 and midday. So it's your opportunity to perhaps treat yourself to a full English breakfast or something a bit lighter if you're not quite ready for it. But anyway, it's a good opportunity to go down there and meet several people who are involved in Link for Growth. Monday, it's Café Loco's turn to host a Link for Coffee, which is a coffee morning basically between 10 and 11:30. Café Loco is on the approach road to Moore Park Station, so it's quite handy if you live down that way to get to. So Chris will be hopefully welcoming you and a few other people along. So yeah, it should be a good morning. On Monday evening, there is another coffee. I was going to say coffee morning, but another Link for Coffee between 5:30 and 7 at Reason Cafe. So if you're on your way home and you want to find out more about what Link for Growth is, or you want to renew old acquaintances within Link for Growth or whatever, then please do come down. Then on Tuesday between 10 and midday at the kitchen, there is something called Link for Health, which is a fairly new initiative. It started last month where various experts, such as web design expert and CV expert and people like that, come down and offer their time freely to help you overcome problems to do with your website, CV, job hunt, whatever it is. Then on Wednesday evening, the Kitchen Croxley, again, busy week for Linda next week, host Link for Drinks, but this one's Link for Drinks with a difference because it's all mocktails. So if you're into mocktails and want to stay clear of the alcohol like Chris, then please do join him and Linda on Wednesday the 24th, starting at 7 and goes on to about 10 o'clock or so, and that's Link for Drinks, mocktails at the Kitchen Croxley. And on Thursday there is a Link for Coffee at LJ's Coffee Shop. As I said, this is opposite Bushy Station. This Link for Coffee morning starts slightly earlier than normal. It starts at 9:30 and goes on till 11. Thursday evening, there's Link for Business between 6:30 and 8 at the Fresh Shop in Market Street, which is next to Ask Peter. This is your opportunity to find out more about what Link for Business is all about and to start building and developing your network of business contacts. Membership, if it's your first time of attending, it's free. After that, it's £12 a month membership fee. And that is all that we have for Link for Growth next week. So, as I said, it is an absolutely packed week. I would like to thank Tania for doing the news and for helping me out with all the charity information and her general contribution.
Thanks very much, Diane. Absolutely my pleasure. I shall miss you for a couple of weeks, but I'll see you again back in September.
Okay, well, we look forward to that and have a great holiday. And I will be here next week with Chris and Neal. Catherine is still away, hence no restaurant review this week. And we three, and maybe some others, will be back next week at 4 o'clock on Friday. If you do want to get in touch with us, please do via at Link for Growth Southwest Herts. That's at Link for Growth Southwest Herts. We look forward to seeing you then. Bye-bye.